Hi, good morning. My name is Tracy, and this is Blue Alien News. Coming to you about Convoy, Freedom Convoy 2022. And we're going to go straight in with this. Apparently, we've got Florida governor suing Gofundme for the cancellation of the money, or at least stopping the money going through. Now, one may ask why, but here's some facts of the matter. In Truck News, just recently in January 22, they came up with the story of the murky matter of protests and the financing thereof, and who is involved and why it matters. In this particular case, those who are involved with the Freedom Rally are in fact from a group, as the news report says, that is looking to separate from Canada. It wants to secede. Now, this is Alberta. The woman's name in the article is Tamara Lich, who has previously been involved with some seriously radical groups and is linked to Donald Trump, supporting Donald Trump, which also explains why Donald Trump and Governor Santos and the likes of Elon Musk, although not a politician, are so vocal in trying to support this. While it may seem insignificant at this particular point in time, these things tie up with the geopolitics that were going back on in 2017 and 2018 in BC and Alberta, with the pipeline and the Dam C and the First Nations water supply, which was, now the truckers' convoy itself was protesting that BC wouldn't let the oil go through to the BC ports to go out. They were protesting that they couldn't go through the water and the environment that is on First Nations land, and they were irked that they couldn't replace Dam C in BC, which of course caused the wine wars, and Alberta didn't get any wine and BC didn't get any oil for a while. And this was eventually sorted out when Trudeau bought the pipeline. So that was that. Now, what we have to look now at is for Gofundme. Gofundme has shut them down, and we've got them citing fraud by Gofundme from Santos himself in Florida. And unfortunately, it's not fraud. The people who may be committing the fraud are in fact either the donors to the GoFundMe campaign for the rally, or the organizers of the rally themselves. Most of the people, and the majority of them, are doing this A, out of the goodness of their heart, B, they want to protest the mandates too, but can't be there at the time, and C, there could be other nefarious activities going on, i.e., is ISIS funding it? They might be small, but they got money. They seem to find it from anywhere. Is a foreign politician, such as Santos, for example, has he put money towards this personally? Now, while a normal person could get away with not being charged with starting a war, a politician from a foreign country certainly can. And while the USA shares a border with us, it is still a foreign country. It is not Canada. So should any politician have funded this, even in whether a personal capacity or in a government capacity, this would literally mean that they are instituting a war on Canada. And due diligence has to be done. As I said, there may be very well a lot of people who are doing this just to support the protesters. But you can only support the protests and the petitions in your own country. You cannot support protests in a foreign country. That makes you a foreign actor. Now, if you were Canadian and you were in UK and you wanted to help fund because you couldn't be here because of COVID, that's fine. But you could only donate a limited amount. You couldn't donate thousands or millions. And the likelihood of you faking you being somebody else, or impostoring somebody else, like it has been said, people have used Justin Trudeau's names, they've used other politicians' names, and this is impostoring, and that is a crime. So all due diligence has to be done, and to say that GoFundMe is committing fraud by cancelling it for the moment is actually totally disingenuous. Any good criminal lawyer or financial lawyer would turn around and tell the Santos to go take a flying leap. But there you have it. So those are the first things. Plus, this wouldn't be the first time that GoFundMe has stopped funds going in. One of the particular issues with that was Black Lives Matters, an article in BuzzFeed News, where you had one small Black Lives Matter group that was just for a community group in California that was started in 2015 and came out prior to the big Black Lives Matter movement, hashtag BLM, and their funds. And you had Apple and Google and a bunch of big companies help to fund Black Lives Matter. They did that as part of a civilian donation, I suppose, or I do believe there are some laws that allow them to do this. But at the same time, when they suddenly realized there were two and they thought that they were uncertain as to where they were sending, the Black Lives Matter Foundation in California and the GoFundMe was shut down. They'd screamed in millions, but it was the wrong Black Lives Matter. They weren't affiliated to the hashtag BLM and all the different protests that have taken place around the country, the US and the world. So to turn around and say that GoFundMe, as a private business, shouldn't and can't do due diligence on those people who are funding their GoFundMes, because as a company, even though they are, once a donation has left them and gone to the cause in question, they have, that is it. But while that money is going through GoFundMe, which is a private company and earns money and a percentage of commissions from those donations, they don't do due diligence on something as large as the GoFundMe for the Canadian rally. Yeah. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of other new GoFundMes trying to start up in personal names, personal causes, different countries. And then you think to yourself, why? Why would somebody like Santos and Trump be so interested in this rally? Again, it is geopolitics. That is what it is all about. Now, that's the end of part one, and I will see you shortly in part two. Bear with me, because at this particular point in time, I have no idea what I'm doing with this darn thing. See you in a moment.